Good morning.
Papers this morning and share with you the major stories making headlines across Nigeria. We're joined this morning by public affairs analyst Theophilus Akatugba. Good morning. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to join you this morning.
All right. Let's kick off with this Nigeria newspapers, see what we can find over there. Showing there's a lot of interesting ones. Yes, it says federal government to invest $800 million in power sector. Minister Adelabu says generation capacity will increase to 6,000 megawatts by December. Laments 59% of industries in Nigeria are off-grid due to epileptic supply. Steer clear of Rivers PDP or face the consequences. Wike warns party's governors. State Congress elects Chukwuemeka as chairman. If you remember, of course, the statement is, I will put fire in your states. That's exactly the statement that was made. Edo gubernatorial Oshomole Obaseki's wife in verbal exchange. Nigerians outraged over descent into gutters by gladiators. 18 years exam age limit. Federal government playing with crisis, says Sanu. Policy would cause setback in education sector, says stakeholders. And also this morning, for scarcity, we are facing financial challenges, NNPCL declares. Away from this Nigeria, let's go to the Daily Independent newspapers and share with you the stories over there. Daily Independent this morning says, I think it should be on your screen in a second, Nigerian Airlines banned from, well, flying, is it? The Daily Independent now, or I think maybe the Punch. But our next report comes next. Okay, Daily Independent says Nigerian Airlines banned from flying to US. Experts offer solutions. FAA delists Nigeria from Category 1 status countries. Hope of air peace and other aspiring indigenous carriers dashed. Serap sues Akpabio and Abbas for fixing National Assembly allowances and running costs. We could also find here, petrol price may increase as NNPC admits facing financial strain due to supply costs. Tinubu arrives Beijing for Africa Cooperation Summit. And also, Matawale CDS service chiefs to storm Sokoto to flush out bandits in Northwest. Top of the screen on the Daily Independent, banks kick may lose 10 trillion naira to CBN directive on dormant accounts. Volatility, profits taking drag, NGX performance down 1.22% in August. And our final newspaper this morning is the Punch newspapers. And very quickly on the Punch this morning, petrol scarcity to worsen as an NPCL admits $6 billion debt. Debt to petrol suppliers has caused financial strain. PMS supply threatened, says the NNPC. Dangote refinery, petrol ready for rollout. And also power generation down by 1,400 megawatts as discos reject allocations. Nigeria has the highest rate or second highest rate of food insecurity. That is from Bill Gates. Hunger protest, federal government arraigns activist British ally today. All right, I think we could just stop here for now and get into the conversations. Let's start with I think, we just finished talking about Rivers State, so we might as well just start with that. The statements made by former Governor Nyesom Wike towards other PDP governors based on the interference in the Rivers State crisis.
Well, PDP over the years have ceded the power, the strength of that party in the hands of Wike, and it was quite beneficial at the time. And now the same man has turned against the party, and the party is in disarray because he's no longer holding the party together, and everyone is trying to find his place. And the party is struggling for survival. And, because Wike is not one who fights shyly. He fights openly and directly. And many governors do not want to get into his war books or war zone. And so I see Wike as a very interesting politician in Nigeria that we need to study closely, and how he's able to determine what should happen, and get what should happen, and even threatened other governors from coming to, so that we can determine the outcome of affairs in that state in the manner he wants.
Yeah. But doesn't that paint a very dangerous or very saddening or sickening picture, rather, of where Nigerian politics is generally?
No, I think sometimes we are too hard on ourselves. If you follow the American politics, powerful men also exist there. people that are feared. You hear of the Republicans who don't want to be able, no one want to go against Donald Trump, even while he was out of office. And so it is part of human developmental experience. And so Wike is one at this time on the throne in the PDP, and the PDP haven't surrendered their powers and a lot of their to him because he was beneficial, are finding it hard to wrestle the power from him. And this is what is playing out. He is the most successful politician in the last election as a person, not his party, because he determined what happened in Rivers. He gave governorship to himself, gave the presidency to another party, became a minister in the ruling party. So he, in fact, aggregately, he must be someone that we should study with great interest. And is one of those people I never, because I knew that he has the potential to do this kind of thing to that party. I really never liked him, but anytime I speak, I had too many people against me. He was a star at the time. He was one who went to do what the PDP wanted, and it was achieved. Now the PDP is a victim of his own creation.
Well, good luck to them. We'll probably come back to this again.
Do you think that
as we
should be
go on.
invited to come and speak? Do you think that those statements were in any way insightful? Because we've seen a number of Nigerians on X who are saying that journalists are being picked, and people who are tweeting or sharing their thoughts on certain matters are being picked by the DSS. But if someone brazenly comes out to threaten to put fire in a state, he should be invited by the DSS.
Of course, the DS. Sometimes if we want to run a proper country, the idea of the president giving instruction to security agencies to do their work makes it that we are not yet running a proper country. The DSS should always be proactive. If they see that maybe they might see it's just a political rhetorics and it's nothing to it. They might just say it's one of those weakest rantings or one of those weakest antics, political antics. Sometimes they might not want to act upon it and see it as one of those many things we hear in politics. During political times, I think they seem to get away with a lot of things.
Well, anyway, we have a call from Nasarawa. Good morning. Thank you for calling. Please go ahead with your comment.
Hello, good morning to everyone in the studio.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah. I am particularly worried about the issue of fuel scarcity and the corruption that is going on in the NNPC, so to speak. Why I say there's a corruption going on is the fact that we seem not to know what is really happening. Today they will tell us refinery will work. Tomorrow they will shift it to September. Right from last year, they've been shifting this issue of making the refineries to work. And even the only refineries that we have that want to start producing, the Dangote refinery, second largest in the whole world, they are frustrating the effort. By now, I think something needs to be done in that NNPC, especially in view of the fact that when the fuel price goes down, the price of everything will definitely go down, and there will be meaningful things for Nigeria to achieve. Now, they are claiming that $6 billion debt. They were equally saying that they will transfer the refinery to private sector. I hope it's not a case of trying to give contractors such that they will not be collecting kickbacks with a way to keep embezzling money. Honestly, something needs to be done as a matter of urgency in this petroleum sector. We have crude, we have everything, and we are suffering for this. It's not supposed to be. And as it is now, if they cannot do that, and they take care, and maybe as a matter of urgency, as it is said, they should sack those that are not performing. And honestly, it's just frustrating. Why will we continue to be like this? And common man cannot even enjoy common things. Imagine common spaghetti we used to buy 200 and something naira. It's now 1,000 plus in the market. So also everything like that, hyperinflation. Where are we going in this country?
Tribe, thank you very much for calling and sharing your thoughts regarding that. And I think that's the next story we should touch on. The Punch does, that's the big story on the Punch. Petrol scarcity set to worsen as NNPCL admits 6 billion naira debt. If you recall, I think on the 18th of August, NNPC had done a press release denying or debunking the media reports that they were owing 6 billion It's been one story or the other, like our last caller just said. First, it was logistics issue, mother-daughter vessel. Later, they said, we heard the rumors about or the reports about NNPC owing. They came out to debunk it. Then they now came further to declare 3.3 trillion naira profits to show that NNPC is doing well. And now they're coming to now tell us that they are admitting the 6 billion naira debt. What does this mean for us as a nation?
Well, they haven't admitted any figures.
They haven't admitted any figures. They've just admitted to owing. They admitted to a financial strain. So I think my question would be, what does that say of the NNPC and what does that mean? But before you answer, let's take this call from Lenny calling from Abuja. Good morning, Lenny. Thank you for calling.
Good morning, Olive. Good morning, Uzag.
All right, please go ahead.
I want to quickly talk about this weak tyranny. This thing. Like I listened to Wike yesterday, and goosebumps just ran throughout my body. I say we put fire in people's states, like not River State, somebody's states, and people are quiet, and people were even clapping hands for him. Like elderly people were clapping hands for him. This is a shame. That is a shame. It's a very shameful thing that we are living in a country that one person can threaten states like Akwa Ibom, River State, comprised of millions of people, just one person, because he's the minister of the FCC, and people are signing it, clapping for him. And for NNPC, they should keep on suffering Nigerians. It's okay. I don't even know what to say, but it's okay. God will see all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Lennon.
So just to highlight NNPC, they didn't admit to the figures. According to the press release, they said they've acknowledged recent reports in national newspapers regarding the company's significant debt to petrol suppliers. This financial strain has placed considerable pressure on the company and poses a threat to the sustainability of fuel supply. So meaning we are in for the queues for a long haul.
Of course, you see, economy doesn't play politics. Figures, you will be disgraced eventually, whatever lie you tell. The day Anjuri Ngelale came on television and said the petrol prices will not go up more than this, I knew that we're back to a life of uncertainty. And then Nigerians feel very happy each time the petrol prices don't move. And you say that you've created a deregulated economy or subsidy is gone and your prices remain stagnant. Nigerians love to enjoy without knowing the cost of the enjoyment. And government easily deceived them. We were playing politics with if the subsidy is gone, petrol prices cannot remain the same.
Yeah.
And so once they remain the same, somebody has to pay. And we shouldn't be surprised that the NNPC is in debt. What I'm so fascinated about is that we have a lying, deceiving NNPC, and nobody's head is rolling there.
Again, the Minister of Petroleum, what is his role in all of this? Because we seem to forget that in the grand scheme of things, the president is the Minister of Petroleum.
But you have a PIA, which has removed this from government direct control. The fact that it's a Minister of Petroleum, there are other issues it deals with. Minister of Petroleum is not only the business of supplying petrol.
Hold on.
Petrol supply is a small part of the minister's responsibility.
Yeah.
The NNPC that's supposed to give us petrol, that told us a lie, that the reason we have scarcity is because of logistical reasons.
They are the ones that should be.
So they keep telling us stories, and in a country like this, we still keep that organization.
Right,
so we have an organization that should be, they declared a profit of 3 trillion.
Yeah.
But now they are in debt, dollar debt. You have to pay it. And you will not tell Nigerians to bear that burden because you told us that you will have not subsidized this petroleum product and that there was enough product in the system. We're only having logistical challenges.
They said it wasn't
so the media should not promote their own line of conversation. Very convoluted stories they are telling. They're using technicalities.
All right,
this is the country that has knowledge.
We need to speak with John, who's calling from Kogi, I believe. Good morning, John.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Morning, go ahead.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody in the studio. Please, I want to talk on this of Wiki. This of Wiki is no longer a River State issues. Wiki advanced in River State last Saturday. I think by this time, if we have a serious government, we should have been invited for interrogations. We are talking crisis in about 30 states of Nigeria. We are not talking Rivers State alone. You say go to court crisis in any of PDP states that support, who want to support Fubara. And we have 30 states in Nigeria that cut across all the CJ political zones. And we are talking as if it's nothing. And we know what's happening in Rivers State now. There are a lot of crises. And in Nigeria, please, I think a weak case should be called to order. I think he cannot use the Minister of FCC to cause crisis in Nigeria. It's beyond PDP now. It's not about, the federal government must sit up and invite Wiki. Because
John.
Wiki is trying to cause crisis beyond PDP now.
All right, thank you, John. All right, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I feel like we should be very serious as a country. We should not allow a company that the country owns, for that management of that company to take all of us for a ride. We should not, this is not a sensational, this is not news that we should just talk about on national newspapers, do newspaper reviews and let it lie low. We must look at the NNPC eyeball to eyeball and ask, why did they see it? Why are you taking this country for a ride? You can't overdo this.
Yeah, but would you expect the National Assembly to ask those questions?
Not only ask, Mele Kyari has to resign. He has to resign immediately because he's deceived the citizens. He's deceived the country.
He has to, but will he resign?
He has to. If he doesn't want to, he has to be forced to resign.
All right, let's talk about another story that is, allegedly, they are alleging that they have asked the president to step down. And that's on the front page, still on the Punch. The bottom story, bottom left, it says, hunger protest, federal government arraigns activists, British ally today. Now, the details of the story, we have that the federal government is set to arraign some of the organizers of the recent End Bad Governance protest today, that's Monday, before the Federal High Court in Abuja. Then, in the 6 counts filed by the Inspector General of Police, the federal government also named a British citizen, Andrew Wine, aka Andrew Povich, a defendant. What are they accusing them of? They're accusing them of treason, destabilizing the country, intimidating the president, and destroying the NCC in Kano, among others. We know that the punishment for treason is death. So the worries are that we are in a democratic government where people should be allowed to come out and state their grievances with the government. They should be allowed to protest. According to what's currently, or what should be, protesting is not a criminal offense, but now they've been accused of treason. And after today's judgment, we'll then find out, what direction this will be taken. But what are your thoughts about this?
On the surface of it, you are right. When you look at it superficially, you are right to protest, you are a journalist, you are right to write, but you see people, you see the same, all over the world, you see people talking about spies. You see people using their position for subversive purposes that are inimical to the progress and peace of a state. So if the government have enough evidence, then they will win. Otherwise, it's frivolous, will be thrown out. We've seen several of such accusations in the past that never stood the test of time. So they can make accusation. In fact, you can actually say somebody is an armed robber, take him to court. You've got to adduce enough evidence to be able to convict the person. We live in a country, our country is not running normally. And so you see all manner of things. There is a possibility that people who were protesting genuinely have also been joined by those who have ulterior motives. And so the protesters have good intentions, but a lot of other things also happen around the protest. It's the government duty to find out who did what and what happened. When you look at the way the protest turned out in the north, it was a surprise to those other ones in the south. They didn't expect that we were protesting, and some other people thought that, okay, they should be able to fly Russian flag within the protest that they thought was a peaceful expression of a disgust of the citizens.
Yeah.
But we haven't even spoken about allegations of the government that allegedly shot live ammunition rounds into the crowd of protesters. Government that was, that was alleged to have hurt protesters, where people were injured as a result of the protest.
It could not be the policy of government totally to shoot at protesters. It could be the pressure placed on the security personnel, and it couldn't handle it. Government cannot have a policy to shoot the citizens that are protesting.
The point is, the government doesn't seem to be putting a lot of effort in investigating the loss of lives that occurred during the protests. If they, happened, as a result of bullets from the Nigerian police force. Alexander, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Go ahead. Go ahead from Lagos.
Okay. First, I want to say this. You see, the Nigeria of today, in fact, a lot of us are grieving over Nigeria.
Yeah, you get the point.
Yeah, I get your point. But you see, sometimes when you say federal government, this incident could have happened in Kano. And there must be local reports, the issues will be dealt with internally, and those who are responsible will be asking questions at very local level. Maybe they've not bubbled up yet. There's no way a death will occur and it will be swept under the carpet so completely. Something should be going on.
Okay, I'm really glad you added it so completely, because we have a reference. Many people make reference to the October 2020 killings and how initially the government gaslit people to say that didn't happen.
Which one is this one?
The October NSAS protest.
Well, you know, NSAS protest has
manipulated, it was photoshopped.
The government seems to have one point that there's no one who has come forward. That is, if there are deaths, government's argument that says no one has come forward to even make a claim, even when there was a award of money, nobody came to claim it. You see, this is just where, when I read that, I said, okay, are you saying no one has come to say, I lost someone and I deserve this compensation?
There have been people. Anyway, let's quickly take this call.
That's what they said.
Coming in. Please go ahead. Good morning. Thanks for calling.
Hello.
Hello, please go ahead. Thanks for calling.
This is Dr. Philip Dede from Kano.
All right, Dr. Philip, thank you very much for calling. Please go ahead with your comment.
Thank all of you on board for organizing a program like this. And I equally suggest that one phone line will not be enough for this type of program. A lot of Nigerians want to express their mind, but we don't have any forum to express our mind. And it's like what is going on in the federal and state level, a lot of things are happening, people are not aware. And like the government is doing what they want to do without knowing what the common man is facing. First of all, I've said it December 28th to December 18th. I said a lot of things, that this government is the most corrupt government. And not only that, a society where encourage corruption, you can't expect any growth. And again, I said it long ago too, this fuel matter is a scam. They should come up and tell us what is happening. We can't be talking one thing and cannot solve that thing. And the common man is suffering every day. Just imagine the cost of transport. People bear. And they say you increase the salary, and then they look at the cost of things there. That is number one. Number two, again, coming to what they are doing. Wicked matter, I've said it long ago, December 18, 2022. I said Wicked will give problem to River State. And not only that, 2027 again, this same man will come and give the ruling party, that is, he will have some problem with Tinubu himself. Watch out. And what I'm trying to say is like you have a house, and then they give you a key to the house. You have not gone there to look at the structure of the house. When you get there, there are some structures you don't like. You remove them, and you put your own to your taste. But the government do not do so. They just go there and start to announce. And the Nigerians were always following who is head. And whatever comes out from the head mount matters a lot. From that day, the announcement was made of removing subsidy. Things are no longer working the way they're supposed to work. Prices of things are going out even up to today. And look at the line of fuel there. Let the government should come out and tell us what is the problem. Because a known problem is a solved problem if we follow it.
All right, thank you, Philip.
So me.
All right, we have to let that go there. Thanks for calling and thanks for sharing your thoughts with us. Nigerians, obviously, really, really frustrated with the way that things are currently being handled. You were speaking about the NSAS. I think that's a conversation that would almost never end until we have actual truth. What do you think would happen between now and the end of the year with regards to this petrol scarcity?
Well, I see if... in terms of the supply inefficiencies, the fact that they owed in dollars, and so suppliers from outside will not supply them. So they'll turn to Dangote, they'll turn to the local refineries so that they can buy in Naira and no longer be in debt in dollars. And so then every other person also will be able to buy and supply the market. So there will be some semblance of stability of supply locally, especially when we trade in Naira.
Yeah.
And so the only problem will be accessing dollars to be able to fix any dollar requirement in the background operation of the oil industry. But at the front end, Dangote says it's ready, so if he has product,
yeah, I was going to ask.
so there will be efficiency of
yes.
supply, but not of price. Nigerians are expecting petroleum prices to be lower with local refineries. And the media should educate the people it's not going to happen. You're going to have higher prices, but you have stability of supply, you have integrity of product. Products will be available locally. You know? So this is what I think. So I am hoping that this is a good time for Dangote, the fact that NNPC is owing and suppliers will cut supplies.
Right.
And so...
Without the vilifying of Dangote that has happened in the past few weeks, you know, or the drama he's had to face.
Dangote's problem is not local. Dangote's problem is a huge global problem. Dangote is trying to intervene in a market that is just like the airpiece came in and all the airlines got angry.
Like
the same thing. Dangote is coming in. His enemies are not local, but they use local men to fight it.
All right, let's quickly take the stuff from Alexander. Good morning, Alexander. Thank you for calling.
Good morning.
All right, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to quickly say this. First of all, I want to thank you for this wonderful program that you guys are holding online. You see, Nigeria has a very massive problem. Number one, why would a governor that have, like a person like Wike, who have spent 8 years as governor of Rivers State, Wike has spent 8 years as Rivers State governor, and he's gone. Now, I don't understand why would somebody who has served these people come back to start meddling into another governor's affair. Why is it that there is no law that can the Senate or whatever can put on ground that, any governor that has served, give way, except you are invited to that state house, you have no business there. Because we keep threatening that he will run down some states because they are supporting the sitting governor. It's unheard of in any country. If Nigeria was a country that is on the right path, I don't think Wike should be allowed to be saying these rubbish. He should be caged. And again, coming to NNPC or whatever they call that organization, businesses are crumbling because people have nowhere to run their business. Imagine, today now we call off work because our pool cars cannot move. We don't have fuel. Where are we heading to? What kind of legacy are we leaving behind for the upcoming ones? So they become touts when they become governors or senators or councillors or whatever. I don't understand. You're afraid you don't want people to live life again?
We have to go, Alexander. Thank you very much for calling. We want to quickly take this final story before we wrap up the conversation. We've been talking about fuel scarcity. And if you notice, there's something that's very peculiar. When we start to experience fuel scarcity, it almost seems like simultaneously the discos start to mess up, to put it lightly. You know, we then start to hear of people complaining about blackouts. We're seeing here on the Punch, power generation down by 1,400 megawatts as discos reject allocations. And then if you move away from the Punch to this Nigerian newspaper, the big story there, federal government to invest $800 million in power sector. Minister Adelabu says generation capacity will increase to 6,000 megawatts in December.
I mean, it's the same government that has been promising Port Harcourt refinery will start in
August. They've shifted like 6 times now. They lament 59% of industries in Nigeria are off-grid due to epileptic supply. Do you have faith in the Minister of Power?
Faith. I have faith not in the Minister of Power. I have faith in the fact that things can work if we are honest and are ready to bite the bullet. Nigerians as a country, we must know that what Tinubu has thrown down for Nigeria by removal of subsidy and the floating of the currency calls only for one thing: efficiency, hard work, and sacrifice. Without these three, Nigeria cannot overcome the pressures that this will put on the nation. When you float your currency, it means that it's trading market prices, meaning that whatever is sold abroad, your currency will fight to survive in an open market. Before, you have to keep supporting the currency to survive, fixing it and finding dollar to support it. So now it's thrown it open, and we are still trying one way or the other to avoid the hard work that is required. So that's why you see government or agencies are lying. They are telling lies because they are not working hard enough to meet set timelines. People are lax, and no one is being punished for not meeting set deadlines. Yeah. Because why do you tell us August, April, and no one is doing anything about the person who set the timeline? Then he said, tomorrow we said September, and he will fail. He will keep his office.
Well, just push it to
and then
January,
he will retire very nicely. And another guy will come and blame
Continue
him.
from where he
so
started, exactly.
It's a problem. And you know, Nigeria is a country of cover-up. If you go to the ministries, they cover each other up. No one is telling the truth. Nobody wants to expose anybody. Everybody's a nice guy.
If you expose anything, they will probably
They will
suspend you for
victimize you
75
immediately.
days.
So this is what we are dealing with. And we're seeing it at it's becoming, we are not the feeling. We are victims of all these things.
Yeah. I mean, very, very well said, you know, and I've repeatedly said that there's almost no punishment for incompetence.
No.
And that's why people, like you've said, you know, continue to make promises, fail, extend, you know, timelines, push it further, fail once again. And because I remember that, you know, I think it was Melekere that promised 2019 or 2020 that Port Harcourt will be up and running. We're currently 2024. We've continued to move on month after month. There's still no punishment or, you know, for incompetence, you know, on the highest level. But anyway, Theophilus Akatugba, thank you very much for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Interesting speaking with you.